help give your liver the relief it needs so you can keep the holidays rolling. You can find New Nordic's Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, iHerb.com, and in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, and ShopRite. Let's go to the phones and check out Where's Bill? Bill on the road. Bill Cleveland, welcome back to America at Night, my friend.
How you doing? So I'm busy. I'm over here checking my liver now. I wasn't prepared to be thinking about my liver tonight, but now that's all I'm thinking about. How you doing, McGraw? How's second week on the air?
You know what? They haven't pulled the plug yet, so I don't think they've pulled the plug anyway. So so far so good. When we checked in with you last week, you were on the road, and we were talking about your new book, which is called Presidential Road Trips, 100 Places to Explore Presidential Road Trips, and we talked about that. Yeah. And you walked into a presidential library, and you saw your book on the shelf?
Yeah. What a great week it's been. The Clinton Presidential Library in Little Rock, Arkansas. I saw it in the gift shop, which is pretty cool. And people don't realize the National Archives, that's kind of a tough nut to crack for people. And there's a whole vetting process and all this and that. So apparently somebody, up, read through the book and saw that I didn't have too many errors in it and decided it was okay to put in the presidential library.
So you didn't know it was there. You just walked into the gift shop and you saw your book?
No, we submitted it, and they ordered 24 copies to get going and put it in the gift shop. So I went there and I signed them when I knew that they were there. So I went in and signed them all so that it lowered the value a little bit of the books. But they put a little sticker on there and it says they're autographed, so hopefully people will buy them faster. So
did you
still
just?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. Did you say to Steve and to Sally and to Karen, hoping that a Karen or a Steve picks it up?
Yeah, it's like when you go to those little gift shops and you're looking for your name on the keychain, and I'm sure with McGraw you probably never got one of those when you were a kid, right?
No. There are no keychains that are just hanging on a gift shelf somewhere. But seriously though, authors do that. They go, and I know this because I know a couple of authors, and they go into bookstores and airport lounges, and they find their book, and they sign it. And one of the reasons they do that is because the bookstore can't send the book back, so they've got to sell it. So bookstores like it when the author sells the books, but when it's autographed, you just have to sort of eat the book. So.
Well, here's what I do when I see one of my books, it's usually on the lower level. I take it from the lower level and I put it up on the top in front of a popular book. I put my book right in front of it so people can see it. No shame at all.
That's the way to do it. All right, we're up against the bottom of the hour break. I got about 2 minutes here, and I'm still learning this clock. So you're in Little Rock, and you're visiting what in Little Rock? What's the plan?
Yeah, so I'm in Arkansas this week, bouncing between Little Rock and Hot Springs, Arkansas. Little Rock is actually one of my favorite places to go in the South. It's such a totally underrated destination. I'm not sure if you've ever been to Little Rock or not, but in addition to the Clinton Presidential Library and Museum, they got a lot of things to do. They're really cool, River Market area downtown, which is super cool. They'll do the farmers market on Saturday morning. Really cool amphitheater down there. We'll do live shows and things like that. And I was actually here to do a video on food, foodie destinations, and Little Rock is one. And I wouldn't say I'm a huge foodie person, but if you love food and you travel for food, which is what a lot of people do, there are so many great places to eat in Little Rock, and I think a lot of people have no clue that that's even going on down here. And I mean stuff catfish, fresh catfish, and there's all types of different anything you can think of, they've got down here, and great meals and great people. And I'm going to tell you, the one thing that I actually really like the most about Little Rock, everybody you meet, everybody says, yes, sir, no, sir, no, sir. And it's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. They're super polite, to let you cross the street. They say thank you if you hold the door open for them. They'll smile at you walking down the street. So I love that about the South, and I love that in particular about about Little Rock. Have you been to Little Rock?
I've only driven through Little Rock as a kid. I've never spent much time there. But maybe they recognized you from your book being on the top shelf and said, "Oh, this guy's a big deal," and so they're nicer to you.
That's why they smiled.
Yeah. All right, Bill Cleven, hold that thought. We got a lot more to get to. I want to ask you about the Clinton Library, Little Rock, and of course Hot Springs, which is a pretty famous place. We will get into all of that in a second. Every Thursday on the show, we're going to check in with Bill Cleven, who is a travel writer and he's not an influencer. He doesn't influence anybody. BillOnTheRoad.com, and he travels all around the country. And he's going to come back every Thursday and report what he finds and what he sees and give us a little sense of America. So that's Bill Cleven. It is America at Night. The music means we got to take a quick break. Stay right there. Back with Bill on the Road or BillOnTheRoad.com. America at Night with McGraw Milhaven. Back in a moment.
Relax. You're listening to America at Night with McGraw Milhaven.
It's Travel Thursday on America at Night. Bill on the Road. Bill Cleven. We find him on the banks of the Arkansas River in Little Rock, Arkansas. All right, Bill, now we're talking Little Rock and we're talking Hot Springs. You were at the Clinton Library. Besides your book being in the bookshelves, give us one or two of the cool highlights of the Clinton Presidential Library.
Well, you know what's interesting? So all these libraries have a replica Oval Office, and it's pretty neat. So they redecorate these things or decorate these things the way the presidents had them when they were in office. And so what's pretty interesting about Bill Clinton's Oval Office is when they were building this thing, when the museum was first being built, Clinton, I guess, would tour and, kind of give his insight and, we want to do this and do that, whatever. And he came in one day and was like, there's something wrong with the office. There's something wrong about the way that this is built. There's something that's off. And they're like, no, Mr. President, everything's fine. There's nothing, whatever. And it turned out that he was absolutely right. The ceiling was like 4 inches too low. It was some tiny little thing that he happened to notice. And they went back and, of course, and fixed it. So it's an exact replica of the Oval Office. But it's pretty neat. They have a lot of the Clinton memorabilia on there, things that, he would have had when he was in office. To me, the coolest thing at these libraries, and I don't know if you've been to the Clinton one, but they're all pretty much like this. But I love that they'll have documents, top secret documents.
Yeah.
And you'll see the little stamp on there in red, and it'll say, the president has seen, and it's just stamped right on the front. And I always just think that's cool. I knew that slid across the desk of the president. And they got some of his saxophones and stuff from when he was on TV playing. Was it Arsenio Hall? I think he did.
Yeah,
made an appearance, a popular appearance. So yeah, it's a cool one. They're all cool. I love all the presidential libraries.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that last week. I got to ask you about the Oval Office, and I apologize up front, but I can't help myself. It was such a part of his presidency. The vestibule where he and Monica had his tryst, is that part of the replica of the Oval Office, or at least the door to the outer office? Is that there?
Well, they have a it's like a faux door, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think you can actually go beyond the Oval Office. I mean, it's a nice photo op for families and things like that. So they probably didn't really want to include too many details, McGraw. Yeah.
Through this door, his impeachment began.
Yeah. Exactly.
What about the impeachment? Do they talk about it? Do they talk about a blue dress? Is there anything in the library that discusses the impeachment?
I think they had, but everybody. To be fair, most of these places do a pretty good job of kind of giving both sides, and they're pretty neutral. I think you mentioned the Johnson Presidential Library last week, and they did a pretty good job too. But no, I don't remember anything terribly specific about the controversy, or maybe I just didn't want to see anything. Maybe
fair enough. Certainly understandable. I could see you not necessarily wanting to go try and track down the blue dress. All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
You're in Little Rock. How far is Hot Springs from there?
It's about an hour, so it's an easy trip from Little Rock, and I've always wanted to come to Hot Springs and have never had the opportunity, and so I'm really excited. So I'm on a mission to go to all of the national parks. So this is my 30th national park. There are 63 of them, so you might be hearing a lot about national parks over the next few months. But so Hot Springs, I'm not sure if you noticed, it was technically like it was the first national park. Like it predates Yellowstone by like 4 decades.
Oh, wow.
And back then they didn't have a national park service. They didn't even have quote unquote national parks. It was just like the first protected park in the United States. And so, but people would come from all over. They would come here for the hot springs. Like there are literally hot springs that run through the city, and people would come to these bathhouses. They still have them up and down the street. There's a couple I think that had burned down, but most of them are still here. And they'd show up and they'd get into the tubs, and the water gets to like 130, 140 degrees. And in fact, you can walk down the street and they have these fountains, and especially this time of the year, like you see the steam coming out of the fountains, right? Because it's the hot water. And then they also had spring training used to be here, baseball spring training. So, Babe Ruth came down here, Dizzy Dean, famous Cardinal would come down here. And these guys, they'd play baseball. And then afterwards they would, come down here into one of the bathhouses and would just kind of use the hot water for therapy and to work on themselves. And so it's a lot of great history.
Didn't FDR sort of have a second White House down there or something?
So that was in Warm Springs. That was in Georgia. But it's the same premise. So they used he used the hot springs in Warm Springs, Georgia for his polio. And same deal though. People would come here because they had ailments, and it was a way to have some sort of kind of a natural therapy getting in the Warm Springs.
And so is it bubbling up? Is it what is it? It's all natural.
So what they've done, so the water is like it's running everywhere, I guess, underneath the town, and they've figured out ways to kind of have it come up in certain areas and certain fountains. And what's really interesting, McGraw, is there are people, and I assume they're locals, maybe they're not locals, but these people, and I've seen it now 5 times that I've been down there. They bring their empty water jugs and they fill them up because apparently it is like some of the cleanest water in the entire country, right? So the water's like 4,400 years old, and then because it's warm, it like kills most of the bacteria. And I've tasted it. Like they give you a little Dixie cup when you come to the visitor center, and they send you out back to taste the hot springs water, and it's about the cleanest water I've ever tasted. And so these people can fill it up. They have these filling stations like up and down the street, and so you see these people. 9:00 at night, they're out there filling up their water bottles, their big water jugs, to take them back home with their hot springs water.
Now, when you say bathhouses, that conjures up all sorts of images. What do you mean by a bathhouse?
No, you and me both, man. I thought, I don't know, what is this? Well, here it is. So you go in, and there are literally bathtubs all throughout. And so what people would do is they would go and they would basically check in. Think about if you went to like a spa or something like that. Like you'd have your own little area and there was a closing door. They almost look like bathroom stalls, but they're a little bigger, and they'd have a bathtub in there, and then use a chair or place for you to like change your clothes. And then so people would actually go and they would just sit in these bathtubs, and the spring water would come up through the faucets. And there are some that are still, I think there's 2, maybe 3 of these that are still in use today. And but the one that's the visitor center that's run by the National Park Service, you can walk through and it looks exactly like it did in 1910 when it was last used. And you can see like how it worked, the layout, and there's some actually really beautiful old like stained glass. They're really beautiful buildings. And but yeah, so that there are actual bathtubs that you get in.
And in the day, you would just tell the person, scoot over? I mean, was it open to the public?
No, you're not sharing. You're not sharing
so,
the bath. No, you would have your own. So like you go into number, they're numbered. Okay, so you would get your own, and you could go in, and I don't think you could sit in there too long because 140 degrees. That's pretty warm to be sitting there too long in the hot springs water. So, but yeah, that's how it worked.
Yeah, and that's the first national park. I had no idea.
I didn't either, but boy, let me tell you, they are very quick to tell you. That is their claim to fame. They told me, right, this is the first national park. And so, yeah, no, it's really cool. They also have, tomorrow I'm going to, they have a very famous racetrack here. I haven't been to a racetrack in forever. It's called Oaklawn, and like they pumped like $100 million into this place. It opened in 1904. It is big renovation a few years ago, and so now it's like this first class resort. You can come and hang out and have dinner and bet on races and stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to be betting on horses. I don't know that I've ever really bet on horses. So if you have any tips.
Oaklawn's that's a big racetrack. That's where all the big boys go. That's a big deal. There's also apparently, isn't there a gangster museum down there? Didn't like Al Capone spend some time down there, I think? No?
Yeah, no, he did. There's a statue of him right outside of the hotel where I was. And there's a gangster museum. I learned a little bit about him. Apparently the rumor is that he had tunnels throughout Hot Springs to kind of escape from people.
The Hot Springs National Park and the Al Capone statue, there's a downtown, I'm assuming, right? And it's sort of high end, or tell me about the downtown.
No, not high end at all. It's a really nice downtown. They have a lot of local shops, a lot of great restaurants. And then there are, what you would expect in a national park. There are hiking trails. You can kind of go up and there's a couple of mountain ranges here, so you can go up and do some hiking. Did a little bit of that earlier today. And so, it's just really peaceful. People are really friendly, and it's just gotten bigger and bigger. Apparently, the person that I was with today had lived down here, and she was telling me really just like 10, 15 years ago, like there wasn't much going on at all. And now they're saying it's a hustle and bustle. People love to come down here, and there's a lot to do. And it's just, it's a really, really fun little destination. I'm glad I added it to the list.
Yeah, Arkansas is a lot of people. Yeah, it's a state that people just don't know a lot. I mean, Bentonville, Arkansas, right? That's the home of Walmart. That's right. They pumped billions into that, and Hot Springs and Little Rock. Arkansas's got it going on a little bit.
No, they really do. It is an underrated place, and I know sometimes it's the butt of jokes for folks, but I'm telling you, it is a gorgeous state. There's so many beautiful parts of the state, and people are really nice.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right, Bill. What's on tap next week? Where are you headed next week?
Let's see. I guess next week I will be checking in from Frisco, Texas. You ever been there?
I have never been to Frisco, Texas. Where is Frisco, Texas?
It's north of Dallas, and it is home to the National Video Game Museum. So I will have an entire report on all things video games for you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is BillOnTheRoad.com. Of course, his book can be found at Amazon, as well as the Bill Clinton Gift Shop Library.
Hey, man. Any place will sell it.
Do you buy any trinkets from your presidential library gift shop trips?
Well, so we talked about this a little bit last week. I do not have a home right now. I sold my house to travel full time. So the only things that I collect are magnets and postcards, because
I love magnets.
So I got a big old collection of magnets. You betcha.
How about spoons? Spoons have sort of fallen out of favor, but back in the day, they would collect spoons from places.
Now, if you ever see me buying a spoon, you just slap me right in the face, okay?
Nice little,
don't ever let me
spoon,
buy a spoon.
Yeah, a spoon or a shot glass. There you go. Bill on the road from Arkansas tonight. Bill, thanks for checking in as always. Safe travels, and we'll talk with you next Thursday.
Okay, my pleasure. See you.
You got it. BillOnTheRoad.com is the website, and the book is, let me get the official title of the book here, because it is a great read that you can find in bookstores all over the place, including the gift shop at the Bill Clinton Library. It is called Presidential Road Trips, 100 Places to Explore and Experience the History of American Presidents. Bill Cleveland, BillOnTheRoad.com. America at Night. Back in a moment.
Live from coast to coast, this is America at Night with McGraw Milhaven.